That'd be funny if they extended the like how you used to have to be like male and white and own property or whatever. Maybe they extend it even further and it's like you have to own Airbnbs too. Minimum of 3 Airbnbs before you vote. That would be fair.
Dude, Zillow would just get a bunch of votes.
Yeah.
Zillow would get to, they'd be the biggest.
The Supreme
block.
Court by Zillow.
It's basically already that.
Yeah. And Clarence Thomas is still there.
Yeah.
It's like 50 years in the future.
It's like in Futurama where they have the heads. Mm-hmm. It's just the head of Clarence Thomas.
Dude, can I confess something to you?
Yeah, confess.
I still have to remind myself that it's codify and not codify. Like every time I hear codify, I'm still surprised. I'm like, oh, that was codify.
Dude, I get you because it does look like codify.
It
really
looks
hard.
It just is codify.
Yeah,
I'm changing it.
Yeah, dude. Go for it.
I'm changing it. I'm gonna. Ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to have enough money to sway a Supreme Court justice.
Oh yeah, dude. It turns out that if you just like pay a kid's tuition and have, like rent a yacht for a few weekend excursions across like the Mediterranean,
you gotta have
something.
some Nazi artifacts as well.
Yeah, you gotta have a bunch of Nazi artifacts to the point that people walk into your house and are like, wow, this is a lot. Like, this guy needs to explain himself. Like,
right.
That's the level of Nazi artifacts that he had. They're like, he should have to answer to the community for, like, why he has these.
Yeah. We give him the benefit of the doubt, as I always do when I walk into a Nazi-themed house. My first thought is usually, like, this must be a very passionate historian.
Dude, I honestly, like, it is funny to me that his house is full of Nazi stuff because it almost sounds like like something made up from like a Marvel movie or whatever. Like this guy that is the big influencing like all these politicians is literally like he's part of Hydra or something like that. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
Like,
I mean,
it's fucking like made up, dude. Like, I can't believe that like all these like billionaires and like these super rich people like don't watch like movies or like TV shows and stuff and like realize like that they're acting just like the evil billionaires in. Like they're acting like supervillains, dude.
Yeah, but then you also have the Roger
shooting
Stone
rockets into space and shit.
Yeah. But you also have like the Roger Stone types who are just like, that's why I do it.
Yeah, that's true.
This isn't this. Yeah, this is a choice.
We listened to that episode of Behind the Bastards where they're talking about
Paul Manafort,
and this is like one of my favorite facts about any just like politically affiliated figure ever.
Mm-hmm.
Is they were talking about how when they were having their like yearly office party for the fucking lobbying firm that it was Manafort, Black and Stone or whatever, like and the theme one year was just excess.
Excess. I don't even remember that part, but that's amazing.
And then they like the next year it was like excess to the limit. And it's like, dude, what is this? Like, this is fucking.
What do you
like,
wear to an
so
excess
weird.
Party?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Ironically, probably nothing.
Yes. Probably, yeah. Those are amongst the horniest.
They were talking about like the women in the office were like, yeah, we would make sure to skip the yearly office parties.
Yeah. Those got weird.
Dude, well, I mean, I can't imagine the amount of harassment you would face as a woman working in the office of Roger Stone and Paul Manafort in the fucking like 80s and 90s, where they're like literally ripping off like warlords in other countries for millions of dollars.
It probably would have been pretty bad in Roger Stone's office back in the 80s, because that was likely before he got into just like watching pool boys fuck his wife or whatever. You know, that was back when he was into the act of intercourse, presumably.
That documentary about him is like so like
Get Me Roger Stone?
Yeah.
I've watched that motherfucker like 10 times.
He's such a psycho, dude.
I know, that's why I can't stop watching it. I think it'd be fun to get a tattoo of Roger Stone with his tattoo of Richard Nixon.
That is a good tattoo.
Get that if you're a real Jake and Off fan, prove it.
Yeah, hey, Jake Off Nation.
Do the Paul Manafort the Roger Stone tattoo of Roger Stone with a tattoo of Richard Nixon.
Yes. Look up Roger Stone with his Richard Nixon tattoo, and you'll see what we're saying.
Yeah,
it's pretty easy, isn't it? It's huge on his back, right?
Yes.
It's like giant.
It's a back piece.
Is it big? Let's look it up.
That's his hero.
Yeah.
Free of irony. Just.
Oh, really quick. Okay. Because I'm loving this, what we're talking about. And so I'm going to introduce the podcast now so I can keep this part in.
There's your
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Jake and Off. It's the podcast that you listen to every week. And I love you for it so much. Joining me today is a very good friend of mine and a very funny comedian from right here in Kansas City. Give it up for Aaron Scarbrough, everybody. Let him hear it.
Hello. Thanks for inviting me into your home.
Yeah, dude, of course. Welcome to my home.
Sorry I cut the applause for me short. I was uncomfortable.
They'll be clapping, dude. They always give it up. Roger Stone, Richard Nixon tattoo. Cuz it's fucking big, dude. It's a big. Oh, it's like right in the middle of his upper back, like there it is.
Yep.
The only hard part about where that is it's like going to be hard to get. Oh, there's a good one. Okay, instead of getting Roger Stone and Richard Nixon, you got to get Alex Jones and Roger Stone standing next to each other while Alex Jones is pointing at the Richard Nixon tattoo.
That's wow.
That is a motley crew right there, dude.
That would be pretty meta.
What do you think it would be like to hang out with Roger Stone for a day? I feel like it'd be scary, kind of.
Well, I'll tell you what it's like. I've done it a few times. Yeah, I don't know. The only thing I can think of is him asking you to have sex with his wife. He's,
there's a good chance of that, I guess.
There's a very good chance.
Yeah, dude,
He's
feel
an
like
open-minded guy.
I feel like you could probably just show up to Roger Stone's house and offer to clean his pool and get to hang out with him.
Oh my god. Yeah, yeah, I bet you wouldn't even have to wink.
You wouldn't even have to wink.
Yeah, because normally you'd go over. This is how pool boys normally do it.
Oh, really?
They knock on the door. Someone who resembles Roger Stone comes to the door, and you say, "I'm here to clean the pool." Wink, wink. Is she home? Is Mrs. Stone around?
Dude, I love the idea of you being a pool boy dressed like how you are right now with your hood up and stuff.
This is the pool boy.
This is the kind of pool boy that fucks Roger Stone's wife.
I'm the I'm the DoorDasher that fucks your wife. I'm like, Gabrielle, you want this smoothie?
Yeah, dude, the joke in like 30 years from now is going to be like, oh, there's a bunch of kids who look like the DoorDasher, you know, because it used to be that they look like the milkman or whatever.
Yeah, which the DoorDasher is a different person every time.
Yeah, exactly. That was kind of the joke, I guess.
Yeah.
Did you watch any of Donald Trump's town hall?
I might have seen a clip from it. What were the highlights?
Oh, I'm glad you asked for the highlights specifically. I have a quick highlight video that we can watch.
I'll take a look.
So it's perfect.
Donald Trump.
He's so fucking unfazed. Sorry. He's unfazed by anything. Like, everything. Nothing phases him.
Yeah, no. I mean, he literally... Dude, watching this town hall... I haven't watched all of it, but I've watched, like, a good chunk of it.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, everybody there is a Donald Trump supporter, which obviously was, like, part of the deal. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I don't know for sure. Like, I don't know if they could, like, confirm that or whatever, but it has to be part of the deal because there's no way that he's showing up to this unless it's going to be, like, packed out with the people who love him.
Right.
So he crushes in this room. Like, it is his audience. They're there for him. And, I mean, obviously, I don't know. I find myself, like, kind of frustrated at this for a particular reason, because it's like CNN, like Donald Trump is a Republican candidate, and like you have to cover him, like if you're any news organization, period. But I feel like this is like less of like coverage and more of like just letting this dude, like, this is like basically like a big boost to his campaign for him. You know what I mean? Like, they're helping him by like doing something. And so I kind of find it frustrating, but you're right, dude. He is not fazed by anything. Like, nothing can fucking stop this dude, especially when he's walking into a room that he knows is like fucking set up for him to crush in.
Well, yeah. And
it feels good. I've had similar feelings. You know what I mean? So
yeah. But the goal like to finding happiness is to feel like Donald Trump. That's the only way to feel happy. Or that's what we can all strive for.
He was right, dude, when he said that he could walk out onto Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and not lose any voters. That was years ago. That was before he was the president, like everything. He was right. He was completely right, dude. And he was right then. And people that were like not stupid kind of knew he was right then. But it's true, dude. People fucking still love this guy. It blows my mind, honestly. It's a little surprising at times.
Yeah. Well,
but there's nobody else has the juice, dude. Ron DeSantis is eating pudding with his fingers and like, you know.
Yeah, DeSantis, people don't speak of him as fondly as they once did.
Dude, I was one of those people who was like, oh, dude, DeSantis like could beat Trump and like da-da-da-da-da. And once this fucking election actually kind of got into gear, he's left him in the dust, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that guy is long gone. I don't think that he'll run, and I think that he'll probably wait until the next presidential election.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
And I know we're getting off the video.
No, it's okay.
But you know how, like, the Democrats, whenever Bernie became popular both times, like, they kind of, like, the DNC, like, did everything in their power to, like, 100%. Shut it the fuck down.
Yeah.
Do you think, like, the inverse of that or whatever, you know, over on the other side of the aisle with, like, the Republicans, and they have a populist named Donald Trump who is whatever. He's not Bernie Sanders, but
yeah,
the old establishment guys probably don't love it.
Do you think? Are you asking if I think there's any chance of them doing that?
Just like shutting it down.
No, 100% not, because Bernie Sanders at no point has controlled as many voters in the Democratic Party as Donald Trump controls in the Republican Party, dude. It's not even fucking close. There's nobody else like him in politics right now for the Democratic Party. It doesn't exist. That's not a thing. Mm-hmm. Democrats are like just generally a way more fractured party of people. There are way more types of people in the Democratic Party than there are in the Republican Party. Mm-hmm. And so obviously, like, you have people that have more varied concerns than you do in the Republican Party. People are like pretty, like, in the Democratic Party is still pretty homogenous, but like the Republican Party is like even more so. And so it's just more difficult to amass the sort of power that Donald Trump has in the Democratic Party. Because like even Joe Biden is the president of the United States, and like he is one of the weaker presidents that the Democratic Party has had in quite some time. You know what I mean? Because he doesn't have the juice electorally to be able to do the kinds of things that he wants in the way that like Obama did and stuff.
Right.
Even,
Yeah. He doesn't have the
because he's like 1 million years old. I mean, dude, he can barely do, like, he couldn't do this. No. You know what I mean? Like, Joe Biden couldn't do a fucking however long this was, like an hour and a half long or something. Joe Biden couldn't do this, and that's a reality of the situation. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't, like, that's not the only thing that you should judge Joe Biden on, probably. But it is true that it would be much more difficult for him to go and do this kind of thing. I also think that CNN wouldn't make it nearly as easy for him.
Yeah.
People, they would have way more of an interest in like making him look like a complete dumbass than they do Donald Trump. Like, they like are, they want him to do another one.
Yeah.
Well, let's watch more.
Yeah, let's keep going.
President Trump, thank you for your time here tonight. We got a great crowd here in New Hampshire, a lot of voters with a lot of questions about what your 2024 term would look like.
Pardon the January 6 rioters who were convicted of federal offenses.
I am inclined to pardon many of them. I can't say for every single one, because a couple of them probably they got out of control. But, when you look at Antifa, what they've done to Portland, and if you look at Antifa, look at what they've done to Minneapolis and so many other places. Look at what.
Okay. So they should pardon all of those guys because they are clearly like, they should pardon them directly into a group home, right?
Yeah. Well, I definitely think, dude, for sure, a good chunk of the people who, like, the guy who is at the fucking Capitol dressed in the fucking, his name is Jacob Chansley. He was the dude in like the horns and stuff and like all the fur. He went by the Q Shaman.
Yes, yeah.
And he like a guy like that, he was not doing anything dangerous. He went in there, but he was like, there's footage of him being like, don't destroy anything, like da 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 da, because he is this misguided maniac. He's like a mentally ill person.
Well, yeah, and they needed that.
Yes,
like they needed that whatever, that iconography to like remember it. And I still I'm just like, yeah, that was
dude
the greatest day of that guy's life.
But the whole thing is like that guy got the book thrown at him, and he's doing like I think like 4 or 5 years in prison, maybe more. And the whole sad part about it is like the people who are actually like the most responsible will never see that kind of time. You know what I mean? Like you'll see like some of these like leaders of like these militias and stuff maybe get like some time and shit like that, but that's not going to do anything to those groups because they're they operate like militias. There are like more of them. You know what I mean? And like, the politicians and all the organizers and stuff are never gonna. But Jacob Chansley, this guy who is just thinks that he can do magic.
Yeah.
And wears
is his name Jake? I thought it was Jake.
Jacob Chansley is his name.
No.
Yeah.
You're wrong.
He has a different name. There's
Jake,
2 names.
I want to say Angeli or something.
Yeah. That's the name that's so he originally was named Jacob Chansley, but then he ended up taking his like stepfather's name or something and like his moniker. I don't know if it was like official, but I know that like his name is Jacob Chansley.
Interesting.
Yeah. But he didn't do anything violent. Like he didn't attack any police officers or anything like that. He didn't bust up any like property, even if that's like the most important thing.
Yeah.
But he's going to go to prison for like 4 or 5 years because he was the dude who they took a picture of essentially.
Yeah.
And I kind of agree that like that guy is a bit of a like obviously he did something wrong and there should be consequences, but 4 or 5 years in prison seems like a lot.
Yeah.
And I feel like he could probably, just as many of the people who are in prison, could do better with some rehabilitation rather than throwing them into prison,
Yeah.
But we don't live in my world.
Right.
This is God's world.
This is God's world.
But
life
dude,
starts at conception.
I
On Jake and Off, we believe that life starts at conception.
I do think that I think that this
is
a very judicious answer by Donald Trump to this question.
Yeah.
It's like pretty tame by his standards, honestly.
Well, yeah.
He's got to be very tactical about January 6th, though.
Yeah, he does.
It's a bomb for him. That's like a political bomb, I feel like.
Sure. Yeah, I wonder how he's responding to the people that are advising him on what to say. Does he even have those at this point, or is it just
yeah, dude, but just like anybody else, he chooses to not listen to them often.
He makes creative choices all the time, yeah.
Yeah, and so I think that there are plenty of times where you can tell that this is something that somebody told. You can tell when it's something that somebody told Donald Trump to say.
Oh yeah,
like this is clearly what.
Well, anything
they told him to say.
Even I feel like anything evangelical sounding or like Christian sounding is like something like.
And also, I think anything that is supposed to be. Is meant to like straddle sort of like both sides of any line is not something that he does because he very much takes sides on everything. And so this specific answer, I think, is something that somebody was like, this is what you have to say.
Right.
Like, don't say anything else. They're like, say some of them because we do like them.
Yes.
So say some.
Yeah.
But don't say some of them were bad.
Right. Yeah, I just love thinking about like the merch operation going on behind all of this, because at this simultaneously while he's like destroying the world, he's also fucking selling a lot of hats.
Yeah, dude, so many fucking hats.
They have to be like, every time you say fucking groomer, we sell We sell $50 million worth of snapbacks. You know, say it more.
For sure. I don't know, dude. We saw quite, because we went to the My Pillow guys rally together.
We did.
We saw plenty of merch out there, dude.
We did.
That was quite the time. But yeah, dude, it is weird to think about that a lot of this is all sort of funded by selling T-shirts and like commemorative coins
yep.
to like 80-year-old people.
Yeah. Fucking flip-flops.
Dude. He's fucking like there was like somebody had like a Donald Trump wedding dress.
Yeah.
Or something. I'm like, wow.
Did it just say Trump on it?
It kind of had like Trump 2020 like campaign signs. It looked like it was made out of Trump 2020 campaign signs, kind of.
Dude, I feel like Trump, when he on his second term, he's going to like he's gonna be on the warpath. So he's going to like he'll start with some extreme executive action, like he'll reinstate prima nocta or whatever.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Like
my first
Donald
order of
Trump
business
gets
is
to
fucking your daughter.
He
Fucking
gets
your
to
wife.
sleep with everybody's wife, dude. It does seem like something that he would like do. He'd be like, "Well, we're toying around with the idea.
Yeah,
we were thinking about it."
A lot of people would do this to their enemies, not to the people that like me.
All right, let's keep going with this. So this is, he was talking about January 6th. I'll rewind it, try to get it to the.
So many other places. Look at what they did to Seattle and BLM. Many people were killed. These people, I'm not trying to justify anything, but you have two standards of justice. You cannot get a fair trial. You cannot. Just like in New York City, you can't get a fair trial either.
Dang, dude. Fucking riffing. This guy is riffing, dude.
Yeah, he is. I don't know. Are people still talking about? I haven't said BLM in a minute.
Dude, people are. Well, because they were never gonna not be upset about it.
Yeah.
I always think about this actually, because there was, for like a 2-week period, when the video of George Floyd being murdered came out, there was like a 2-week period where the people who I knew in my life, who typically on other like in like any other time that this exact same thing had happened, where like a cop murders a black guy, they had been like, oh, we are like, you know, like it was, they shouldn't have like done this or like da-da-da-da.
Right.
But when the George Floyd thing happened, they were like, that was fucked up. Like, this is like fucking crazy. Like da-da-da. And for like just a brief period of time, it felt like I was like, oh, dude, maybe this literally is like switching a flip for a bunch of people. But then over that 2-week period, it just progressively like got back to normal. And I was like, dang, dude, like that fucking was
right
shitty. And like I think a lot of it did have to do with the way that like many of those protests were covered, but then also the way that they like went down and stuff too, you know, in some cases.
Sure. Yeah, it was like during that summer, I just remember the right wing just going to town immediately, just like trying to change the narrative of it and make it sound better, throw his character into question.
Yeah,
it was
100%.
just like,
yeah.
Because those types of people are very into loving the cops. Like,
yeah.
They hold it near and dear
Absolutely.
to them.
100%. And that's a big part of it. And I also feel like just the fact that you know, if I think that if they didn't do that, like especially like the right-wing media sphere like understands that if they didn't sort of intervene in some way and they actually let people draw their own honest conclusions, that a lot of the issues surrounding police in this country would become pretty apparent to people, because it takes a lot of spin, dude, to like turn something like that into something justified, to turn it from a murder into something justified, you know, because that's what happened is like all these people saw the video with their own eyes and were like, that's fucking awful. But then over that 2-week period, they became convinced to like not believe the thing that they saw.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, they're extremely effective at just spreading that kind of whatever.
Yeah, it really is. It really is unfortunate. And I mean, I think the broader problem too is just the fact that, and it's the same problem with like CNN and why this is bullshit, is because they make so much fucking money off of like all of this shit. You know what I mean? Like this isn't news. Like this is a business, and so it's a corporation. You're basically like watching. It's like the equivalent of like watching like closed circuit TV at your fucking job. Like you're just seeing what they want you to see. You know what I mean? And to a certain extent, I don't think that that's like completely true. Like there's some stuff that they like kind of like can't get away with not showing you. You know what I mean? Like there's just things in the world that happen that like everybody will find out about, especially now because of like Twitter and social media, Facebook, like all that kind of shit. Like when something terrible happens, like it's immediately on the internet before the news even gets a hold of it now.
Pretty much, yeah.
So that is a good aspect of it. But anyways, let's keep watching.
We're going to get through this.
Yeah.
January 6th had to do with the fact that hundreds of thousands of people, and you don't see the pictures very often. A lot of the people here probably were there. January 6th, it was the largest crowd I've ever spoken to. That was prior to the walk down to the Capitol building. I don't think, and I've spoken to hundreds of thousands of people, I've never spoken to a crowd as large as this, and that was because they thought the election was rigged. And they were there proud. They were there with love in their heart. That was an unbelievable, and it was a beautiful day.
Manhattan jury found that you sexually abused the writer E. Jean Carroll and defamed her. You've denied this, but what do you say to voters who say it disqualifies you from being president?
Well, there aren't too many of them because my poll numbers just came out and they went up. They said he didn't rape her. And I didn't do anything else either. You know what? Because I have no idea who the hell she is.
But Mr. President,
I don't know who this woman is.
Can I ask you, given your recounting your version?
I don't know who, and I tell you this.
But Mr. President,
are you ready?
Can I
swear on my children, which I'd never do. I have no idea who this woman. This is a fake story, made up story. He left Washington.
Dude, I love the fact that he literally, I mean, said, I never swear on my children, while he's swearing on his children in that exact moment. Right. It's like, dude, you are literally, he's lying right there. He's like lying in real time. Like,
for sure.
He swears on his children, dude.
Yeah,
he's like, I swear on Tiffany.
Yeah, your children that you don't
Tiffany.
give a fuck about.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, we're all like, oh, that's pretty serious. His kids mean a lot to him.
Right.
No, they don't, dude. It's like, it's the balls of this guy, dude. The balls on this guy.
Right. Well, yeah, and he's, I don't know. He's just, well, it goes back to the Roger Stone playbook.
Yeah.
Deny,
oh,
or whatever.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. Just anything. Nope, it's fake, dude.
It really is an effective strategy.
I mean, he, like, as far as cognitive behavioral therapy goes, like,
it's like, worked better.
If you could just deny anything that is bad, you know, that's a good way to be happy, I think. I wish I could do that.
In denial about everything awful.
Just, fake. The bill collectors that call me, like, nope, fake news. Fucking. Yeah.
He really is, though. Like it is just, it's like he's compartmentalized everything and is like able to just be like, nope.
Yeah.
Nuh-uh.
And I bet he could pass a lie detector test.
You think
while
he could?
doing it? Yeah. Just while
I bet he
lying.
could too.
He's
God,
a
dude.
stone cold psychopath.
Yeah, he really is.
Yes.
Who do you think will win, dude? Him or Biden?
Well, people ask me that all the time. They want to know what I think.
Yeah. Right now, if the election happened like tomorrow, who do you think would win?
I have no idea.
Really?
I really don't have an opinion on that.
It's tough to
I know
tough to
crazy.
tell.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to say.
It's
That's
very
why
hard to say. And I don't trust myself. Like anything that I think
you might not be a good barometer.
Going to be fucking wrong.
Well, that's
I thought
like
Bernie
so
was
true.
going to win twice.
Yeah, dude.
I thought he was going to be the nominee and then become president twice.
It is so true though that like people, because people do that, is they'll be like, well, like I mean, based on what I've seen, everybody's going to vote for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that he's not going to win the election by all 50 states.
Right.
You know? They're like, dude, do you remember, like, last election, they were like, I heard he might even flip California.
Yeah.
It's like, no, he's not, dude. What are you talking about? It's not even, it's not, it would be insane if Donald Trump, of all presidents, Donald Trump was the one to flip California.
Wouldn't that be at what point are we going to be like, Jake, you and me, are we going to be like, we were wrong about him?
About Donald Trump?
He just gets so popular that it's just, I guess I'm insane. I've been insane this whole time. He is a moral man. He's an ethical man, and he's the only thing that can save us.
I do not think that day is probably going to come anytime soon, dude. He's not young, man. He's not. I don't think that, him or Biden are going to be around. I don't think if
he will. Well, Trump is eternal, first of all.
Yeah, yes, you're right. He's like his spirit will be haunting the White House like one of the ghosts in Hogwarts.
Yeah. Well, most likely, after he like through executive action declares himself a king, like we have a kingdom now. I'm the last president.
I don't know, dude. I think that if we had the election tomorrow, it would end in a perfect tie.
Yeah.
And then
they'd have to play a chess game.
Yeah, it would end in a perfect tie, and then they both have to. They have to do a dance-off. Joe Biden versus
what was
Donald
that thing
Trump
the other day
dance-off?
where Trump was like, I'm going to do it, or whatever.
What? Dude, should we look it up?
Yeah. Just type in Trump, I'm going to do it. Trump's dances are just like... they're so unbelievably bizarre. I love them.
Trump grunts awkwardly. So this says Trump grunts awkwardly during impression of female weightlifter.
Yeah.
And it cannot be unheard. Where is it? Come on. Okay, that one seems to not be loading. Newsmax. Okay, this will give us what we want. This is 6 months ago.
So this isn't...
This can't be it.
No.
Let's see.
Don't you love how it's impossible to find an actual video
Yeah,
now?
it sucks. I wish that this one would just load. But the ads are taking. Try hitting. Let's see if I click Reddit.
I swear on my children. I swear on Eric Trump.
Eric Trump.
Yeah. My word is my bond. I swear on.
Dude, I don't know, man. You know Don Jr. is like he's like an outdoorsman. Isn't that the strangest thing?
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
I feel like his dad couldn't be more the opposite.
Right, but is he like how outdoorsy
I think it's like an
is
act
this
of like
actual
rebellion.
guy?
I think it's like pretty.
You think he's legit? Like he knows?
I mean, I think it's as legit as any fucking multi-millionaire could be an outdoorsman. You know what I mean? Like, it's probably glamping.
Yeah.
I guess, like, for anybody normal. But for them, he's, like, actually roughing it.
True.
You know, for, like, that class of people.
Yeah, I'm a weenie about the outdoors.
Me too.
I don't want the fucking.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
want
100%.
bugs. I don't need bugs in my life.
Yeah, I don't like them.
Ugh.
Kick them out, dude.
What if, I mean, I can't risk. I know, like, if I get bit by a tick, it's gonna like give me schizophrenia or something. Doesn't that happen somehow? Like through Lyme disease?
I mean, I think you get Lyme disease. Yeah,
Doesn't
I think
that cause
can affect your.
schizophrenia?
I think it just like affect your brain.
Yeah.
Like make your brain not work correctly and
Maybe
just affect like your whole central nervous system and the way that it functions.
Have you been tested for Lyme disease recently?
No, but I did go to the doctor for the first time in years not that long ago. But I didn't get tested for Lyme disease. I don't think that I show any symptoms. Do you show any symptoms?
Well, I'm glad we're talking about this. Because up until recently, I was concerned that you might have Lyme disease.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I just had a feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
is it because of the giant bullseye on my back?
I thought
with
you were
the
gonna,
tick with the
I thought
tick
you were
in the
gonna
middle
say
of it.
giant bulge. And I was
No.
like, really? Is this where Jake and off has come?
So
to?
how you know, like somebody who has Lyme disease, like it comes from a tick?
They just have a look, man. I can't.
They get a bullseye like circle around the tick.
Yeah.
I learned that in the show Scrubs.
Did you?
Yeah. Because they were trying to figure out what's wrong with this guy, but they couldn't figure out what's wrong with this guy because the tick
was the guy Zach
was
Braff?
in his hair.
Really?
And so when they shaved his head, they found the bullseye.
That sounds pretty intense.
Yeah, the tick, or it was not Zach Braff. Zach Braff was the one who figured it out.
Oh, okay.
Because he's a doctor in Scrubs, dude.
I don't fuck with medical shows.
Really?
Yep.
Scrubs is a good one.
I watched a little Nurse
it's not
Jackie.
good, but it was good when I was in like 6th grade.
Did you watch Nurse Jackie?
With Carmela?
Yeah.
No, I never watched Nurse Jackie. Is it good?
At the time I thought that it was worthwhile, but it was back before I was as mature as I am now.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So I don't know if I would still find it so great.
What's it about?
So Nurse Jackie is played, as you said, by Carmela.
Edie Falco. Yeah.
Carmela
Falco.
Her legal name is Carmela.
Carmela Soprano.
Yes,
is
Carmela.
Nurse Jackie.
Yes.
Dude, I think that that's how they should do movies. Is they should just say what the person's like most famous role.
Right. But anyway, yeah. So Nurse Jackie is it's a spinoff of The Sopranos where where Carmela. It's a what if scenario where Carmela gets a job.
Finally, dude. Come on. Oh, you want to complain, Carmela? But you ain't got no job.
Is that your
I put food in my kids' mouths.
Is that your Tony Soprano?
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's horribly cartoonish.
That's my impression of any Italian dude. Come on. You're busting my balls here, T.
I wish you wouldn't do that because I'm Italian.
No, that's disgusting.
Actually, there are red-haired Italians, right? Like,
it's fucking better not be, dude.
Yeah.
No, I'm just joking. I would imagine not.
I don't think, even if they had red hair, they probably wouldn't look like me. I look real Irish.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Oh, dude, I brought up the outdoors thing because this other news story that I saw that's pretty funny. So these dudes just got sentenced to 10 days in jail for rigging a fishing competition. And they did it. They rigged a fishing competition. So it says 2 men who admitted to cheating during a fishing tournament in Ohio were sentenced to 10-day jail terms, prosecutors said Thursday. Jacob Runyon, 43, and Chase Kaminsky, 36, were also required to forfeit Kaminsky's boat worth an estimated $130,000. So basically these dudes were in this fishing contest, and they got busted for stuffing lead weights and other fish fillets into fish, like fish fillets like that you would eat.
That's really fucked up. I'm glad the justice system is functioning.
Dude, it is
throw them in jail. 10 days that's lenient.
It is so funny though, because I was like trying to figure it out, you know, like what is this fishing tournaments like, you know, what is the deal with it, you know? And it's just a regular fishing tournament, and they did it by like basically they have video of them all getting busted that we're gonna watch while they do it, while they like were weighing the fish.
Chase Kaminsky, Jake Runyon weighing a big fish, our current Team of the Year.
If you believe those who were there, this is the moment a lot of eyebrows started to go up. Anglers Jacob Runyon and Chase Kaminsky leading yet another fishing tournament.
Your new leaders locking it in, Team of the Year, definitely Team of the Year champions.
They even headed up to take their pictures at the Lake Erie Walleye Fishing Competition, ready to claim almost 30 grand in prize money. But watch closely when just moments later, the event's organizer, Jason Fisher, decides to check the belly of one of those fish.
We got weights and fish! There we go!
From then on, it's a mob calling foul in a way only true fishermen can. But Jason Fisher wasn't done investigating, finding almost 8 pounds of lead weights and a bunch of fresh-looking fish fillets inside.
A filleted fish.
Meanwhile, Jake Runyon, still standing there, asked point blank what he was thinking.
Do you have anything to say, Jake? You call the cops.
Angler Steve Hendricks and Brian Ulmer finished fourth. They couldn't believe what they were seeing, or at least almost couldn't believe it.
Finally, we don't have to deal with this anymore, and we finally got rid of the problem that everybody suspected. So I just hope they hammer them.
Turns out it's not the first time Runyon and Kaminsky have been suspected of cheating. Last year, they were disqualified from another championship after one of them failed a polygraph. According to reports, Runyon said he was innocent and got a lawyer. As for this past weekend, law enforcement is now involved. Ohio's Department of Natural Resources released a statement saying they've collected evidence and are preparing a report for prosecutors.
Fishing is supposed to be a gentleman's sport where you are supposed to be honest. And for these guys to come in and do this was just...
Dude, I feel like our friend Dustin Slants would be like, no, dude, that's fucked up.
Former guest on the podcast, Dustin Slants,
would be like, guys, I don't see what's funny about this.
Dude, I love the guy. I love the moment that he finds the weights. He's like, guys, we've got weights in the fish.
Yeah.
And then all those people are like, fuck you. Like, it's just bleeping it out. They're like fucking pissed, dude. Oh, it's so funny the way that they talk about it. I love the details that are peppered throughout this. It makes it sound like almost like it's like a satirical news story.
Yeah.
When they're like, he failed to pass a polygraph.
Right.
About the fucking fishing tournament.
It's such an embarrassing thing to be throwing a fit about. This could equally be, this has the same like effect as like if it were happening with a fucking World of Dungeons and Dragons, you know, or like Warhammer 40K.
Yeah. Dude, they're like, all these dudes are just like, so, and I love how they're like, fishing is supposed to be a gentleman's sport, and then it's just like cut to them. He's like, we got weights in the fish. There's stuff in the fish full of other fish.
Right.
Then like all these dudes are like, hey, fuck you, fucker. This is supposed to be a fucking gentleman's game.
Mm-hmm. I also like that the news story was hook, lying, and sinker.
Yeah, I know, dude. Really clever shit. That's from so that happened in October, and then they just got sentenced. But it's so funny to like hear the people that they interviewed about it that are like, God, I thought that this day would never come.
Yeah.
They're like, I thought that justice had escaped us yet again.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, and then the other two guys are like, we're just glad it's they're like crying like he's a rapist or something. We're just glad he won't bother us anymore.
And they're like it reminds me of when they do those like missing persons or like, you know, like murder mystery shows, like Unsolved Murders, where they like talk to the families of the victim, and they're like, and we just were happy when Jacob finally came home.
Yeah.
Like, it's got the same kind of energy. Like, these dudes were like, we finally caught him. We did it. They put weights in fish fillets. I thought it was kind of fucked up that they put fish fillets into the fish.
Yeah, that is kind of demented.
Kind of sick,
and why?
dude.
Why would you? I guess so that it feels fishy. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe like if they cut open their tummies, like you reach in there and you're like, oh, it's just more fish.
Right.
They're
I wonder
like,
what their defense...
Why does the inside of this walleye taste like lemon pepper seasoning?
Do you think they... Do you think they confessed and like got a plea deal, or do you think that they were like the fillets were planted?
They're like, I want a trial by jury.
Yeah. I was framed.
Dude, that actually would be like a fun like courtroom drama like spoof where it's like it's like Law and Order, but instead of something serious, it's
I say
like a fishing
don't
tournament.
not even make it a spoof or a comedy. Make it like an inspirational film about justice. About yeah,
dude, a film that people watch and they're like, huh, I guess things are the way that they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Well, dude, honestly, we've really hit the limit of what I think we're gonna do.
Okay.
I appreciate you coming on the podcast, though.
Dude, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Will you come back on sometime soon?
Yeah.
Cool.
Anytime.
Okay. You heard it here, Jakeoff Nation. He promised you.
Bad.Aaron.Scarbrough.
Yeah. Plug your stuff. Plug your own podcast, too.
I host a little podcast of my own. It's called National Prayer Breakfast.
Yeah.
And go to AaronScarbrough.com.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
AaronScarbrough.com.
Mm-hmm. AaronScarbrough.com.
Bad.Aaron.Scarbrough on Instagram.
Yeah, that's optional.
Yeah. As always, thank you guys for listening to the podcast. If you are checking this out for the first time and you liked it, go ahead and subscribe. And if you've been listening for a while and you like it, please give us a 5-star rating. No 4 stars or 3 stars or 2 stars or 1 stars. Only 5 stars, please. And follow us on Instagram at jakeand.off.podcast. I've been your host, Jake Redpath. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.